Hi, and welcome KCIW listeners at 100.7 and KCIW.org, Brookings, Oregon, to the show, the Radio Gadio show called Joyously Free. Yes, with me, none better than Joanie Lindenmeyer. I've been a resident of Harbor, Oregon for 34 years. I'm a retired Del Norte High School teacher, and I'm also a best-selling author. 3 published books in 2 years, and an audiobook too. Let's begin with our morning salutations because I know you all know what it is, and I just love being here every Monday morning at 9 o'clock. So remember, I say it's a brand new day, and you voluntarily say it's never been lived before. So here we go. Let's start our day. It's a brand new day.
And it's never been lived before.
Oh, boy, our speaker is right on today. So this Radio Gadio show, as Will and Viv named it, is a show that talks about LGBTQ plus stories and tips, along with religion, church, faith, spirituality, and joy. Simply put, the purpose of the show is to share, radiate, and spread abundant joy and freedom. Hence the title, Joyously Free. It is also the title of my second book that I co-authored with Elizabeth Ann Atkins of twosisterswriting.com. And did you know, and we are super proud, that Joyously Free, the book, has been nominated for a Lambda Literary Award? Ooh, we will know July 30th what the scoop is on that. So as in life and at this radio show, we know there's no hate speech, no hate behaviors, and of course, no bullying. We're going to blast this radio show today with the guest speaker and myself with courage and confidence and collaboration. We're going to seek understanding. Think out of the box. Our special guest is sitting right across from me, looking good, never been in a radio show before. And so I know a little bit of nerves might be happening, but we're doing good. We're doing good. So before we begin with our radio show guest, let's start with our prayer. Let's close our eyes, center ourselves, breathe in with joy and out with doubt. Let's breathe in with confidence and out with anything that is troubling us. Let's breathe in with happiness and not sadness. Joy and peace are an internal expression of love and harmony. And dear Lord, we ask you to be with us today. Whether you call God, God, or whatever name you put on it, God be with us today. The reading is chosen from my friend Doris for our guest speaker today. It comes from Galatians. There is no longer Jew or Greek. There is no longer slave or free. There is no longer male or female. All of you are one in Christ Jesus. When Doris Westaby gave this to me, I thought, oh my gosh, she is right on. We were talking about transgendered people, people that are just beautiful for who they are and who God made them to be. And she says, Joanie, it's just like it says in Galatians. There is no longer male or female. And I thought of my dear friends that are trans and what a life they've had. Some have had terrible lives and some have had beautiful lives. But either way, as they transition, as they find out who they are, oh my gosh, they just burst with joy like the Joyously Free book cover. And I'm so blessed to have them here in my life. So with this beautiful scripture and the little reflection I had, I ask that you today open your hearts to the Bible, to whatever way you communicate with your God. I ask that you be open-minded as we get to know our guest speaker today. And I am so simply, gratefully pleased to introduce you to a new friend of mine, met recently, Isaac Vaughn. And you're going to get to hear his voice, which is totally a radio voice, but also the topic. It's becoming the true me, and it's going to tie into our scripture reading that Doris gave us. So Isaac, welcome aboard to the KCIW Radio Joyously Free.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Grateful to be here.
Good. Have you had a busy day today?
Super busy, yeah. Building a deck, rebuilding a wall. It was good. Wow. It was a good day.
You're a builder.
I am.
Okay, that's going to jump right into us. Tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll get more into the topic.
All right. So about me, I love building things. I love fixing things that are broken. I worked in the medical field for about 15 years before I started doing maintenance, handyman stuff. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. I like helping people. I worked mostly with people with developmental disabilities, with higher medical needs. So I got to do a little bit of everything.
Did you work in a hospital setting?
I worked in a group home setting.
Oh,
group
okay,
home.
okay.
Yeah. So
Tell us
I
more.
got to, I got to get to know people that, have had, some pretty rough background because of not having family, so they sort of are in group homes. But I got to I took one gal to Texas to see her family she hadn't seen in years. And she had early onset Alzheimer's because of a brain tumor as a child. She was a school teacher, and she started forgetting basic things like putting an oven mitt on before pulling things out of the oven.
Oh my gosh.
And so for her safety, she went into a group home, and I had, every day it was reminding her of what's happening every second of the day, which can be taxing some days. I can't imagine for her, but I got to take her to Texas. We flew there, and she got to spend a week with her family that she hadn't seen in years. So, it was good. It was good. And then we created that same group home. We created a community garden that was wheelchair accessible, and I built all the raised beds.
Oh my God.
And so they opened the house up to the neighborhood, and prior to the garden, the neighbors were kind of intimidated by the folks in the house. Mm-hmm. And so we had a big barbecue and invited the neighborhood over to plant and grow things together and eat food. And after that, the trick-or-treaters would come to the house, which the clients loved. And, they became part of the community and created natural supports versus paid supports.
Right on.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool.
Right on. And that's medical in many ways. Did you do also other
we had
medical?
G-tube feedings. We had people that were diabetic. We had, it was a lot of medical stuff. And I was a medical assistant, so I knew how to, I was really good at that job, and I love helping people. So, yeah.
And you have your own simple talents of building things.
And I like building things. So it was awesome. It was a really, really wonderful experience.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And you're such a people person.
Yeah. I like people. Yeah.
Yes.
I like people.
For sure. So our topic today is becoming the true me.
Yeah.
In this process of working at the group home and in your medical field, is that another way you found out how to become the true me, or is there more to the story?
There's more to it. I think.
Can you tell us?
Yeah. So growing up, it was a crazy childhood. I was born in Texas, and I have 19 brothers and sisters.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and my dad had kidnapped my sister and I when I was 4. And we lived off-grid, like no electricity, no running water, backwoods Texas. And so I had no concept of gender. I didn't know that boys were boys and girls were girls. Like, I didn't know, I just thought, I had older brothers, and I thought when you get older, things change and you become a boy. I had no concept of gender. And so when we ended up moving to Oregon when I was 6, and I remember getting in line to go to the restroom in elementary school, and I kept getting in line with the boys. And the teacher's like, no, you have to be over here. And I was like, no. Like, I'm supposed to be in line with the boys because I'm a boy. And that's when I learned that I was different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, which I didn't know anything about trans people. I didn't know anything about the queer community. My parents were very conservative. They were pretty anti anything that wasn't mainstream hetero, straight white person. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I was, I think I was like 10 or 11, and I had the biggest crush on this girl, Carissa Boganoff. And I couldn't figure out like why why I felt that way. I was like, what's going on? And so I was sweeping the kitchen floor, and it just came out of my mouth because we had watched the news the night before, and it was there was stuff going on in San Francisco with the queer community, and so that I made that connection in my head, and I was sweeping the floor, and I said it out loud. Oh my God, I'm gay. And my stepmom was like, what'd you say? And I was like, nothing. I just continued sweeping. And after that, it was like a constant, like I was trying to hide those parts of myself. Like I didn't want, there was a lot of shame around it. Like it wasn't okay. And so, I was a funny, goofy kid in school. Yeah, I had a huge crush on Carissa Boganoff, and I was really excited because I think like third or fourth grade, I got to be in her class, and I thought it was amazing. And then, so fast forward at like 12, I go into foster care.
Okay.
And there's they put me with this family that's Catholic, and there's a lot more of like religious guilt around being queer. And so, it was kind of a rough foster home. And then I went into this other one that was more Christian based. And there was this girl, Sherry, that lived there. And I was in love with her. I was like, oh my gosh. And, we were 12 years old. We held hands. That was the extent of
hormones were going.
Yeah, we held hands. I think we kissed once, and that's when like the world exploded for me, and I was writing about it in my journal, and I didn't understand what was going on because, I was supposed to be this way. I was supposed to like boys. I was supposed to be a girl, and like growing up, my parents would have to wrestle me to get me in a dress. And I'm like, I can't play soccer in a dress. Like, I don't want to wear this dress. And comb my hair. I had long hair, and I would always intentionally get like tree sap in it so that maybe it would get cut. But my stepmom would comb it out with peanut butter. And I'm like, dang it.
Oh my
I really I wanted short hair. And, but yeah, so I fast forward, I go into foster care and I meet Sherry, and, I'm totally in love with her, and I write about it in my journal. And my foster mom finds my journal.
Oh.
Yeah. And so...
and reads it?
Yes. She read my journal, and she took Sherry and I into this place called Family and Friends in Grants Pass. It's like a counseling center for kids that are in foster care, kids that, have stuff going on. And so... we go in there, we're doing our family therapy, and she pulls my journal out of her purse, and I felt my heart drop into my stomach. I didn't even know what to do. My head exploded. I didn't know what to do.
Felt violated?
Yeah, super violated, really just shamed, and like, this isn't okay, and what's going on, and you need to, we're going to send you to counseling, just all this horrible stuff. So I ended up running away.
Oh, okay.
Sherry and I were so connected. Like, it was the first time in my life I felt any sort of love from somebody. Like growing up, it was alcohol, drugs, lots of abuse, lots of physical, emotional, sexual abuse. And, which is part of the reason we ended up in foster care. A
dysfunctional family.
It was really dysfunctional.
Right. And you didn't know any different.
I didn't.
Right.
And it confused religion for me, because all of it was in the name of God.
Okay.
It was a lot of like, just, if you do this, you're going to go to hell. If you, just a lot of just really toxic behaviors and relationships and so meeting Sherry, and it was this kind, like, we held hands, we talked kindly to each other. If anything, bad happening, we had each other's back. So we're trying to navigate the foster system and still be able to be close, because as soon as they found out, like, it was immediate, like, you guys cannot see each other, and I didn't know how to deal with any of that, because I had never felt that, level of safety or kindness in my life, and I didn't want it to go away.
Right. But you liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was joy to you.
Yeah.
That was just, that was the best.
It was amazing. It was, I mean, and I still, I'm still connected with Sherry.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
This is cool. And you're how old now?
46.
46. And we're talking about when you were a teenager, correct?
I was 12.
You were 12?
We were 12 years old when we met.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the foster system was in Grants Pass. So the police, if you ran away, I hadn't committed any crimes at that point. I was a scared kid that was just thrown into this system that I had no idea how to navigate. It was my sister and I that were put in foster care. My other siblings stayed with my stepmom. And so it was Marie and I, and eventually they split us up. So then it was just me. And so Sherry was kind of my lifeline. And so we, are trying to navigate the system. I'm in conversion therapy,
Who put you in conversion therapy?
My foster parents.
The foster parents
Yeah.
put you in. So they've realized that things are weird with you and that you're not the girl that they think that you are.
Right.
And
right.
you're, of course, believing that you're not the girl that you are.
Right. And so, I'm in therapy all the time, and I hated myself. There was just so much just shame and guilt around any of the stuff I felt.
Where did you go to conversion therapy?
It was a place outside. It's closed now, but it was outside of Ashland, Oregon. And then
people always ask, what do they do at conversion therapy? Can you just give us a few examples?
A couple. So they do a lot of talking about God, this particular one. And they do, they show you adult images to try to stimulate a feeling other than what you're having.
Okay.
I don't want to get too graphic.
So they're trying to convert you.
Yes.
From
through God and adult images, lots of medication, lots of sedation.
As in shots, as in
Yeah, shocks, shots, lots of medication. I couldn't even tell you what they were. I remember at one point I was just so groggy and out of it, and they were just talking at me and I don't even know what they were saying, and I was out of it.
And the reason they medicate you is that's part of their procedure,
part of the therapy,
part of the therapy to help you to change, to realize that this is not right, this is not.
Yep. It's not okay.
It's not okay.
You were a girl, you're supposed to like boys.
Right.
And
so how long were you in conversion therapy?
Off and on until I was 15 years old.
So from 12 to 15.
Yeah.
You were going to treatment. Was it residential or?
Residential, a couple residentials. I did Rosemont. I spent 2 years there. And that was, so Sherry and I, we were trying to break out of the foster system, and we heard that there were queer people that lived in Portland, Oregon. So in our 13-year-old minds, it was a great idea to steal a car with some friends.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You just had to get out of there.
Yeah. We were going to Portland where we heard there were gay people.
Right. And you knew you were gay at this point.
Yes.
And it's like you needed to find your family.
I needed people, support, love. And so we get in this car, and it's Sherry and I and 3 other people, and we stop for gas. And of course, we don't stop at the gas station because we don't want to get caught. So teenagers go up to the gas station. We all had milk jugs, and we all fill our milk jug with gas. We walk back to the car, and we get it in the car, and Eli, the kid that was driving, he forgot to turn the lights on. So the police, at this point, it's 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning. Mm-hmm. The police light us up, and he decides it's a great idea to run.
Oh, boy.
And so we're on this silly chase for, probably 30 minutes, and then the car just starts smoking because he's going 40 miles an hour in second gear. He doesn't know how to drive. We're kids. And so the car stops and stalls out, and we all get out of the car, and there's 8 cop cars with dogs and guns, and it's a bunch of kids that climb out, and the police officer's like, it's a bunch of bleeping kids. And they're mad at this point because we could have caused all kinds of damage. You could have
killed somebody. I mean, what if?
All kinds of stuff could have happened. And our brains were so not developed, and like,
Right.
yeah. And so that happens, and we all get taken to this. I don't even know. It was like a house. I don't know. And we were like zip tied and handcuffed to beds until we could appear in court the next day. We appear in court, and all my friends have parents, so they get bailed out. I don't have any parents, so I do a full 2 years in lockup.
Oh, as a juvenile.
As a juvenile, yeah. It's my record's expunged, everything. I paid the lady back for the car. I scrubbed toilets when I was locked up.
Wow.
To pay her back, and I called her, made amends.
Good for you.
Yeah. I got my head on straight. But at Rosemont, it was horrible. It was, another place where it wasn't okay to be gay, and it was in Portland, and I was a scared kid, and most of the kids were in there for like murder. They were in there for like severe mental health issues. They were in there. I mean, a whole bunch of horrible stuff happened while I was in there. And so before I leave, I'm like, I don't want to go into another foster home unless they know I'm queer. And so I end up having to stay extra, like longer, because they couldn't find a place to put me. And they contact this woman, Mickey Talley, in Cave Junction. The coolest lady, the kindest lady on the planet Earth. And they're like, she'll take you. She's okay with, the LGBTQIA plus community. And so I move in there, and I'm scared. I'm super scared. I just got out of this 2-year horrible, crazy lockup. And there's Mickey. She's got fuzzy white hair. She smokes like a chimney, so the tips of her hair is all yellow. She used to be a truck driver that was addicted to cocaine. And now she was this amazing foster parent that took in all the kids that nobody wanted.
Okay.
And
including you.
Yeah. I might get a little emotional talking about her, but she took me in, and she loved me. And she gave me my first pride flag. She introduced me to different queer people in the community that were healthy adults.
See the tears in your eyes.
Yeah.
It is emotional.
Yeah.
She's introducing you to a family that is loving you, and she's loving you in that process.
Exactly.
Oh, everybody out there listening, I wish you could see Isaac's face right now. It is just absolutely beautiful and sparkling.
Yeah, she was amazing. And she, I did better in school. I stopped smoking pot. I stopped.
Your life has changed.
My life, yeah. I wanted to try. There was something worth trying for. And she, it was crazy at school because it was in Cave Junction, and the kids were mean. Kids were mean back then, and I was getting beat up like almost every day. And she went down to the school, and she's like, if my kid comes home one more time beat up, I'm going to sue you guys. Like, you can't do this. Like, she stood up for me in all the ways that I needed it.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. And it was amazing. I was like, I want to live here forever. But unfortunately, I didn't get to. My biological mom, my dad, after we went into foster care, he drove to Texas and told her that my sister and I were in trouble and to come to Oregon. And so she did. She got an apartment. She's not well mentally. She's not capable of raising kids at all. And so, but they were like, she has an apartment, so you guys have to go live with her. So Mickey and I bawled all the way driving from Cave Junction to Grants Pass, and it was the first time like my clothes were put in like a suitcase, not a garbage bag,
right.
And she sent me away with like toothbrush, toothpaste, all the stuff I could possibly need that she knows my mom won't get.
Wow.
And so I go to live with my mom, and, living with my mom, I had to live in the shed in the backyard because she didn't want me in the house. It was just awful. I got heavier into drugs. I started dating this girl because Sherry and I were split up. We lost total contact. And I ended up dating this girl who would beat me up. But, I didn't care about me. So how can I expect other people to?
Isaac, this is like amazing. This could be like a 2-hour show with you, and I know we're going to be down to just minutes, but
okay.
Can you fast forward?
Yeah.
Fast forward.
Yeah. Okay.
Fast forward because you are now a 46-year-old beautiful man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fast forward, navigate all of that, and I get into like my 30s. And I had tried to transition a couple times, but the women I dated were like, no, I'll break up with you. And so I didn't. And I get into my 30s, and I'd been in therapy working through trauma, and I'm like, this is really who I am. I'm a man. And so I started taking testosterone April of 2013. I started taking testosterone.
And the official word, HRT.
HRT.
Hormone replacement
therapy. Yep. And, it was amazing. It was the first time I felt like connected in my body, and then I got to have top surgery.
And you are looking so good. You are in such great shape, mentally and physically.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal. And I know we're going to run out of time here, but most importantly, what stories or what tips would you give to the listeners today about being the true you?
Oh, gosh.
If somebody's out there struggling right now, they're going through some of this stuff, what would you tell them?
Listen to your gut and know that it's going to be okay. Your community's out there. We're out there, and it's going to be okay. And just always be you. Be you.
And listeners, I am so sorry, but this is like, wow, this is so amazing. So I want to thank you, listeners, for being a part of our show today. And we thank Tom on the sound, and of course, Mike and Dora, Candace, and Rose who help out. If you need more information, get a hold of us. We might have to do a part 2 for Isaac, because this is incredible. Thank you, everybody, for paying attention and listening. And here we go. Have a great day.